Hello, this is Plank Time. It's been a while. Haven't made a video since last year, probably like around September. I was planning on making a video in December about the subject, but now I'm gonna talk about the Revelation 12 sign here, and I don't think I was gonna do it at the end of this video because I wanted to talk about something first, but I think I might break the videos up into two because I don't know how long the first video is gonna be. So I'll make this the first part, and then I'll edit it, and then I'll decide. But I wanted to talk about this real quick. In 2016, someone made a video. I don't know who it was, and they talked about Donald Trump. This is before Donald Trump had won the election, and they said that if Donald Trump is going to win the election, president on January 20th, 2017, Donald Trump would be. He was born in June 14th, 1946, and it'd be January 20th, 2017. He'd be 70 years old, 7 months and 7 days, which in the Christian Jewish religion, the number 7 is a really important number. And also, and then, I don't know who made the video, but who came up with the idea. I have no idea how they even thought to, even think to look that up. I have no idea why they did, and it's cool they did. So other people made videos too, so I don't know exactly who the person was, but I even made a video about it. And then afterwards, after Trump became president, his 77th day in office, on April 7th, 2017, he bombed Syria for the first time. And it was after he did it, Vladimir Putin told Donald Trump and America that there'd be consequences if we did that again. And you can see here is when Donald Trump got in office and the day that he bombed Syria the first time, his 77th day in office. So there's that number again, the sevens again. Now we also know the number 666 is in the Bible and Book of Revelation stuff also, which is evil, not good. So in 2016, around the election time, when this person, I saw these videos that this person came up with this cool idea, which I never would have even thought of, I said, well, why don't we try that on other, I thought I should try that on other things and other people. So one of the first people I went to was Vladimir Putin. I knew he had to be around the 60s, so I was like, well, if he's around the 60s, let me look at when his birthday is. And this was 2016, so he was about to be 64, or he had just turned 64 when I did this. And then I looked at when he'd be, 60. I checked when he'd be 64 years old, 6 months and 6 days. Then I checked when he'd be 65 years old, 6 months and 6 days. And then 66 years old, 6 months and 6 days. And I calculated the dates. And this one here would be, the first one I checked, the 13th, would have been 2017, because it wasn't 2017 yet. And so you've been 64 years old, 6 months, 6 days on April 13th, 2017. And then I checked 2018. He would be 65 years old, 6 months and 6 days, and it would fall on Friday the 13th. And then next year, 2019, he'd be 66 years old, 6 months, 6 days. But on April 7th, 2019, he'd be 66 years old and 6 months, exactly 666. I'll get back to that. But I want to go with the 13th, the Friday the 13th. If you remember in April, around April, getting close to April 13th, 2018, Syria, they say, used chemical weapons. And it looks like we weren't sure if Trump was going to bomb Syria again. Because the last time he bombed Syria, on his 77th day in office, he bombed Syria, then Putin afterwards said, don't do it again. This time, leading up to Friday the 13th, 2018, in April, Vladimir Putin this time said, don't bomb them or there's going to be consequences. And I had known about this tape before, so about 6 months earlier, because I'd known about it since 2016, about 6 months earlier, I told somebody in real life about it, and I told him the 2 days because it was already past 2017 April, so it was sometime in fall 2017, and it's when I started making my videos. And I told someone about that, and I pointed out that Putin would be this old on these dates. I said look for since Donald Trump became president on that date and his 77th day in office, he bombed Syria. And another thing that I made in my other video about Donald Trump, I've talked about this before, but I don't think I've heard anyone else talk about it. Donald Trump, the day he was born, was a very rare, every 18-year blood moon total solar lunar eclipse. And as the eclipse was coming up, I've talked about this again in my other video, one of my other videos. It was seen in Asia, Russia, the Middle East. That's where the blood moon was seen. You could see it as Donald Trump his mother went into labor and he was coming into the world. She was actually having them as the blood moon was being seen. You could see it over there in Russia, China, Middle East, stuff like that. So I do believe Donald Trump is prophesized. They talk about in the Bible all the time about trumpets and the Trump. And I know a lot of people who believe in the prophecies of the Bible don't like other prophets for some reason, and they don't believe in like Nostradamus, even though Nostradamus was a Christian, and he read the Bible and all that. I do believe there are 4 prophecies about Donald Trump in the Nostradamus predictions. I'm not going to go into that right now. Let me go back to Vladimir Putin. So on this, a couple days before, they were talking about maybe they're going to bomb, maybe they're not. And when it came down to this possibly, that Donald Trump could be possibly bombing Syria on this date, I was getting so nervous because I knew the date. I knew he'd be 65 years old, 6 months, 6 days. Yeah, there's a 5 in there, absolutely, but it's still 666. And Putin warned them. So we got to Friday, and I was watching the news all day, and I'm like, let's not. Hopefully, Trump won't bomb, because Vladimir Putin tells him not to bomb, and then Trump bombs him. Putin may not do anything, but Putin's going to be embarrassed, and Putin's not somebody you want to embarrass. And people in the Kremlin and all that are going to remember that, and Putin's going to remember that. Believe me, he's probably still pissed to this day about this, because it wasn't like Trump bombed it, and then he warned him. This was beforehand. And then we got to it, and it was like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, okay, in Russia, it's now the 14th. In Syria, it's now the 14th. It's now going at 9 o'clock here. Let's give it a couple hours. I was hoping a couple days. Let's give it a little cushion. I didn't want it to be, Friday the 13th anywhere in the world. But 9 o'clock, sure enough, in the news, he sent some, missiles over there to Syria. I was like, oh great, it's on the day. Now I didn't think anything big was going to happen with that Putin was going to hit his back or anything. I just thought it would be a bad sign for that to happen, and the next year and in the future, it could be a bad thing. That could have been the day when Trump bombed him. Putin, maybe something clicked in his brain and was like, okay, this is it. Now we're going to start getting our nukes ready for America. This is it. Trump didn't back down. Maybe something changed in Putin that day, on his 65th birthday, 6 months, 6 days. And he probably doesn't even realize it. Doesn't even think about, things like that in the days. He probably thinks this is silly. Like, I'm sure a lot of people probably even listening might think that. I don't know. But next year, and let's go to the 7th, because it'll be 2000. Okay, so let's go next year. On April 7th, 2019, Vladimir Putin will be exactly 66 years old and 6 months, exactly 666. This day will be the 2nd anniversary of Donald Trump first bombing Syria with his 59 Tomahawks on April 7th, 2017, on his 77th day in office. And that's when, right after that's when Putin warned him. So that'll be the 2nd year anniversary of that. And then the 13th would be April 13th would be the 1st year anniversary. Oh, can't include that. No, I don't want to include that. Okay, now April 13th, 2019 would be Putin would turn 66 years, 6 months, 6 days. Now we got 4 sixes there, but you still have 3 sixes, and that would be the first anniversary of when Trump bombed Syria for the second time on Friday the 13th the year before. This will be Saturday though. 2019 will be Saturday, and that'll be the first anniversary of it. And believe me, Putin will be remembering that. So I want to see next year. I told this person when I told him about it, and then it happened, and I came to him, I don't know how long after, and I talked about it. I said, remember I told you about Putin would be 65 years old, 6 months, 6 days on this day? And he's like, yeah. And I said, well, Putin didn't do anything like back or anything, but, he did warn Trump not to bomb Syria, and Trump bombed them. That's a pretty serious thing. And Russia's big time involved in Syria, and that was a pretty big thing. And he's like, yeah, so? I was like, okay. So, I don't know. I mean, if something that happens on these days, and say something big does happen on this day, or what I'm going to go into later about the prophecies, what I think Revelation 12 tells us, I'm going to go into and talk about. I know a date, which I made in my other videos, but I got more to it, and I know a date I'm going to be talking about in year 2021 that I think this tells us. I think this gives us the exact date something's going to happen. Clear as day, I think. And I'm going to go into that later in this video or the next video. I'm going to go into that. But if something does happen on these dates, either April 7th or April 13th, 2019 with Russia, and it's big, I want to get this video out there. I still think people will be like, so what? And if I get this one right, well, that's not me. I'm not, again, I would never in a million years would have thought to look up Vladimir Putin, when will he be, 666? If the person, whoever made the video about Donald Trump being 7 years old, 7 months, 7 days when he took office, whoever came up with that gave me the idea to start looking at this. And I started looking at all kinds of other things, like when did the Napoleonic Wars end, and when did World War I start, and I started looking at all kinds of different dates. But the first person I checked was Vladimir Putin. There's no question. I wanted to see if he was born during a blood moon. Was he conceived maybe on a blood moon? There is actually a blood moon in February 1952. Now I don't know if he was born a month early. I don't know how you'd even find that out, but we could check it out. I mean, if I could find that out, and yeah, he was born a month early, then it would fit that Vladimir Putin even had a blood moon in I forget. I think it was February 1952. But I was looking at just all kinds of stuff up for signs. I'm just looking for signs. I don't know what any of this means. I know the Revelation 12 sign on September 23rd, 2017 was the Revelation 12 sign, and the one December 17, 2017 was the rest of it, which I didn't know at the time. I just thought they were both the Revelation 12 sign on September 23rd. I thought that was one Revelation 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it is. I'll go more into it. But it seems like it's December 12th, 2017, and then you calculate from there. But I'm just trying to figure this stuff out. I did get this, thanks to that person that came up with that, gave me the idea for this, and something did happen. Not that big with Russia, but again, we don't know what's in Putin's mind, how pissed he is about that. Because again, Vladimir Putin's not somebody you want to, embarrass like that. He's got nuclear weapons, and people think that we have mutual assured destruction, where, if Russia attacks us, we can attack them back. No. Putin has these things called Satan II nuclear warheads. He can shoot them off, and they can move so fast our radar can't detect them, and within 1 hour he could wipe America out. Our radar wouldn't detect them. We wouldn't even know they were coming. All of a sudden, light would just start flashing all over America, and we'd be gone. Vladimir Putin and Russia could take America out in 1 hour, and we couldn't do anything about it. Just like it says in prophecy, that Mystery Babylon, which I believe is America, will be taken out by arrows, missiles, nuclear missiles, in 1 hour. And we won't fight, we won't shoot any back, or none of our allies will shoot any back. I'm not going to go into that now, but you gotta look up these Satan II nuclear warheads. They're very dangerous to us. We were slacking, we were working on the Middle East, and we were going to war there after 9/11, and Russia was building its weapons, just like in after World War I. Nobody worried about Germany, and Hitler was building his army and getting ready, and America and Britain were just sitting back and having a good old time, not worrying about their weapons, and then all of a sudden, bam, we had to worry about World War II. Same thing with Russia. We thought communism would collapse. Oh, Russia's never a problem. Now we're in the Middle East. No, Russia and China were building their weapons. Now they're ahead of us. And they're always going to be ahead of us, because if we try and catch up, okay, we're 2 years behind, 3 years behind, whatever years behind, we're going to catch up. Well, then they're ahead of us, so they're going to keep going. So just wanted to get that out there, and hopefully, I think it might have went a little long in this video, so I think I'm going to make 2 of them. But you know, it's good to talk to you guys again. So I'll see you in the next video. It's been Plank time. Thanks a lot.